One. Now, I know what you're thinking. 1867 already released an episode this week. Well, we had to sneak in a bonus episode this week because we've got the premiere of Friday Night Sex Scandal this Saturday, March the 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, I am very proud to have worked on this movie. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, but the reason why we're doing it tonight is because we're able to get two of the stars of Friday Night Sex Scandal on the show tonight. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. We've got Matthew Benin and Noah DeMel. How are we doing?
Good, man.
Yeah, doing good. Doing good. Thanks for having
Excellent.
us.
Hey, this is fantastic. Obviously, we had a couple days that we were able to kind of yuck it up, work together on the movie and whatnot, and really enjoyed, seeing the passion and the dedication that you guys, really had for not only the acting craft, but you really took to becoming, that football player, right? You encompassed the essence of what it took to be an actual football player. So that was great. So, Matthew, maybe we'll start with you. I'll give you a little bit of a runway here, a little bit of a background on yourself and kind of what led you to pursue the acting route and ending up in our premiere on Saturday.
Yeah, so growing up in Toronto, I grew up a lot on baseball, a lot of sports growing up, and once I figured out that I wasn't going too far in baseball, I decided to kind of come back into the performing arts. Really, I started with the modeling. I found that it could be something that could give me something back for the time I put into my body and my look. And through some commercials and some different modeling gigs, kind of landed on the acting. And yeah, this is my first movie, and shockingly enough, it was pretty cool to kind of have a professional football coach be there. So not, from throwing a baseball to throwing a football, it was took a while to get used to it, but like it was a good time. It's a good time for sure. So I'm really excited for
Yeah.
this movie.
Well, you
So
know what? You took to it really well. So you end up playing the quarterback in the movie, Mason. So what kind of character is Mason in the movie? Was he a fun-loving guy? Is he a rah-rah guy? Like, what
yeah,
type of character is Mason?
yeah. He I like to put him as a chameleon. So he just tries to fit in, but he tries to do it in a cool way. But if you get on his nerves, he's gonna be like a little snake and come at you. So um,
The
he's a
re- the,
fun
the
guy.
the reptile puns, I like it. Chameleon, snake,
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, he's fun, but he's a little narcissistic. Like it's all about how his image is amongst others, and he uses what he has as resources. Right? He's athletic, he's good looking, all that stuff. So typical kind of QB in high school.
I was just gonna say,
So
you've literally listed every single trait that a high school quarterback likes to, think they possess. So
yeah.
that's good. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think they hit it out of the park casting someone like you in the role of a quarterback. But yeah, we can get into it a little bit more as we go along. But obviously, want to include our other fantastic actor that we've got here. So Noah, give us a little bit of a background on yourself and kind of how we got down the road to this movie.
So I grew up in competitive dance, so that was my sort of artistic branch, if you will. Um, Grew up in competitive dance since I was about two and a half, three. One of the judges at the competition, her name's Amy Wright. She's the casting director for The Next Step. She got in contact with me and was like, "We got to get you an agent. We got to get you acting and dancing on camera." And so she did that. She got me in touch with my agent right now. And yeah, this was a great, level up. I've done a few commercials. I've done some smaller roles here and there, but this, being in a full movie, you know, great cast. It was awesome.
Yeah, and so you play Tyler, who's a running back in the movie. So give everybody a little bit of a breakdown of like who Tyler is, what they can expect to see from Tyler on screen.
Sure. He's a little quieter, but I think he really plays into that stereotypical football jock sort of guy. We Matthew, our friend Jamie, who plays Woodley, we're all sort of this like almost like a wolf pack, if you will. We have our varsity jackets, we're always together. It's like, when we're around, there's trouble. So that I think it comes off
Yeah.
really well on. screen and on camera. So it's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what the cool thing of you mentioned you being a little bit of a wolf pack, seeing the four of you interact with each other off screen as well as the players that we brought in to kind of be your on screen teammates. You really couldn't tell that you guys were the actors, right? Like you guys took to it so quickly and so rapidly that I actually have to give you guys a lot of props. And it's funny, I was laughing when we kind of wrapped up all the football stuff because I was like, I came in thinking, oh man, I'm gonna have to spend all the time with these actors trying to baby them and get them to go through all the steps. And at the end of the day, it was all the football guys that were coming saying, "Oh, can we have a break? Can we go have lunch?" And you guys were ones plugging all the way through, saying, "Let's go, like let's get some more reps in and whatnot." So I got to give you guys full props, and obviously it gave me a huge respect for the acting community because of the long days that it takes to shoot one scene, shoot two scenes, and you're having to do it over and over and over again and have that consistency. It's almost like you have to have like that inner meditation where you kind of just leave your body for a little bit and just say, okay, I'm hurting, I'm sore, I'm bored, I'm tired of doing the same thing, saying the same lines over and over again, but you got to do it. So the biggest thing is when you worked on this movie, what was it like putting the pads on? What was it like kind of encompassing, being a part of that high school program? Obviously, like I'm repping the Westmoreland Viking hat just to show some love for the program. But what was it like for you guys, actually putting the pads on and becoming, that football player on screen?
I guess I'll happen first. The moment the pads came on, it was like, oh yeah, this is real now, and I mean, coming the first day, all the snow and everything, and seeing the guys right away,
Yeah.
watching them warm up, watching how they interact with each other, getting thrown right into the warm up with them. Like you said, like we weren't even treated as actors in that moment. It was like, hey, you're on this team, go practice right now, go get your stuff ready, and having that right away was really nice. It kind of just put the discipline of the whole next 3 weeks right away into my body, I felt. And I love the way you treated us too. You treat it like, hey, you're part of this team. We're not gonna baby you guys. When we had the huddles, you kind of talked to everybody. You didn't just point some guys out. And so right away it was like, okay, this is business. Let's get to do this. Let's get to work. And so I felt for me, as soon as that helmet, really, it was the helmet, man.
Yeah.
That thing was tight. I was like blacking out, after a few plays.
You're used to
Yeah. And then I
modeling,
said,
having
okay, yeah.
these having these nice designer clothes on and whatnot. Now we got to mess up your hair, putting on the big helmet. It's a different environment for you for sure.
Yeah, that definitely helped kind of transition into that mode as soon as we put the equipment on the gear on. So
Yeah, I think for myself as well, as soon as we got into the trailers and you see the pads, the I don't know, leggings, the tights almost, what I'm not sure what they're called, but
It's football pants, and then you've
football
got
pants, all of that, like you get the helmet, you get the cleats, it's like you're gearing up and we were just out there. It was awesome. I have a picture actually I put the like chest pad, I put it on backwards because I thought the bigger part was supposed to be on the chest and I thought I was so cool. I took a mirror pic and then I looked at it after and I was like, oh, that's the wrong way. But no, it
but
was so cool, especially that first rehearsal day. It was cold. I came a little late, I think, too, and they were already doing lines. So it was like it didn't feel like we were on set at all. It was like, we're ready for a practice, a warm up, right away.
yeah. See, now the inner football coach in me really wanted to make you run a few laps because you were late. But we had to get you kind of involved and
Yeah,
getting
first day,
well, that's the day you got to be early, man. But no, you're 100% right. And I mean, you it's a different feeling, and honestly, like going through it myself, when you're getting ready, you're kind of loose, you're kind of joking around and whatnot. As soon as you get to that last bit of getting ready, so you get the shoulder pads, the jersey on, and then once that helmet goes on, you're a different person. So I mean, I'm glad that you guys kind of encompass that, coming from your backgrounds and then taking on the persona of being that that football player, that mean, nasty, wolf pack, as you guys said. So that was good. Now, through that experience, obviously, this is your first movie, right? Like you're looking forward to seeing it on screen on Saturday. Do you see yourselves doing more of these types of movies? See yourselves playing, portraying athletes in future movies, when you guys are up for a role?
I think for myself, I think I don't have a choice. And I don't say that in a sarcastic way. I love doing it because I grew up on sport, and I think there's something beautiful you can express when one, when you're actually performing on the field for an actual game, but then two, when the camera's right there, and those little moments when in an actual game no one really knows because they're just waiting to see the actual result, but that camera's actually catching those little internal moments, and I really love that. Yeah, I think for sure I'm definitely I'm open to almost anything in this industry, and that's something that I really enjoyed because those two plays are stuck in in my head, and even like just the appreciation you get for the different sport that I never really grew up on. I grew up watching a lot, but I get to actually play,
Right.
and being like a kid again in that moment was really fun. So I think for sure for me, I definitely open to more roles like this.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of what Matt said. It's true. We don't really have a choice as actors. We get, an email, a audition request, and it is what it is. We shoot as much as we want, if that makes sense, as
Right.
much as we can. Um, I mean, playing a football jock is awesome. Like you can't deny it. You get to be, the cool guy in high school for 3 weeks. It's awesome. Uh, I think for myself as well, I always did want to play football. I always thought I'd be a good like wide receiver or something, but never. My family just didn't want me head injuries, injuries like that, stuff like that. They were worried about. So that was sort of a bonus. It was like I get to relive that desire from when I was younger for 3, 4 weeks, and yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I would definitely do it again for sure.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Well, you talk about injuries, and Noah, obviously, you kind of lived, the football player experience because you were nursing a bit of an injury when you were actually filming the movie. So, kind of walk us through that and how you're doing now.
Sure. So in July 2023, I tore my right Achilles, full rupture. Now we shot this film in, I think it was November
November. Yeah.
2023.
Mhm.
So 4 or 5 months post full tear surgery, and honestly, it held up. It was more about the recovery afterwards. So it would be warm up a lot in my trailer before we head onto the field for the long shoot days, and then as soon as we finished, it would be going to roll it out with the foam rollers and the hot tubs, just making sure it was good for the, 5 a.m. call time the next day. So
Yeah.
it was a real part on my end to sort of keep up with the recovery. But yeah, it's going well right now. We're about, I don't even know, we're close to a year now. So I tore it in July, so coming up to that deep months. So, but yeah, held up, thankfully, and it was a great experience for testing it out.
Yeah. Well, for anybody who thinks that actors aren't tough, I mean, think about that. Tore his Achilles tendon and was out portraying a football player who, again, he's a running back, so
Running back, yeah.
he's in the thick of it. A few months after that. So yeah, that was it was very impressive, and obviously tried to protect you as much as we could, so that way we didn't hurt it anymore. But yeah, just from the perspective of going through the rehearsal day, that was obviously kind of a meet and greet, just kind of understand what was going to be expected so we can kind of hit the ground running when it came to shoot days. Um, how did you think the transition was, from the rehearsal to the shoot? Because, in my mind, we were able to wrap early on both of the football days that we were filming. So, I mean, I think it went very smooth from my end. I was very happy with the way that it went, the way that it looked. From your end, you know, where did you see things kind of moving along as quickly as they were? Like, did it kind of hit you midway through, or was it like, oh man, it's 2 o'clock and we're getting sent home already?
Yeah, I think for me, it's a great question. Like, yeah, I was having so much fun, honestly, because
Yeah.
I'm not there pretending to be a quarterback and stuff. I'm like telling these kids what to do. I felt great, and so it was almost like, and it was like the rehearsal day was the first day was like it's
Yeah.
cold, and then the first day of shooting was actually really nice, and it was got quite warm. So that helped it go faster as well. And I think the difference of the temperature helped my the body to feel good and everything. But I think it was after a couple of the sort of initial rolling, like getting through the first two shots, and then going through those takes again, I realized, okay, wow, like we're running through this thing because everyone's on time. Everyone's like, they're actually tackling each other, like they're hitting their marks and everything. Like it worked really well actually. So and I could see the faces of the the DPs and stuff. So it's always nice when they're like, oh, okay, good, move on. So yeah. I think a lot of credit goes to you, Kyle, honestly, because you really made it clear during the rehearsal, and it was the same thing on the actual shoot day. It was the same words, the same, cues, all those kinds of things. So it really helped us feel comfortable. So
Repetition
Yeah.
is key, man. Repetition is key. That's the
yeah.
biggest thing. Go ahead, Noah.
Yeah, 100%. I think that rehearsal day, I think is definitely necessary, and we were able to build that foundation to make it that much better on set when the production has to pay about 10 times more for that day versus the rehearsal. So they must have loved that on their end. But no, I think once we started rolling, once we started shooting, it really just it did feel sort of fast because I mean when you're doing any sort of activity, it's time goes by, and some of it takes, we do it a bunch, so it gets a little repetitive, but
Yeah.
I think the fact that we were able to wrap early on both the football days is a huge plus.
Yeah. No, and like I said, it just mitigates the risk of injury, and the fact that like I said, to start it off, you guys kind of took to it so quickly, it made it easy for everybody else to kind of say, oh, we could just roll with that and not have to worry about explaining it another time or going through it slowly, so that way we're not going to get anybody hurt, because ultimately, I think you guys wanted to get in there more than they're ultimately letting you, right? Like you guys wanted to kind of mix it up with everybody else too, which was kind of nice. But all right, so couple of things here. So Matthew, I gotta get you, if you remember, I gotta get you to give me the full cadence, of play call in the huddle, and then coming to the line of scrimmage, and making sure that you've got the whole cadence done. So whenever you're ready, if you're comfortable with it, let's see if you remember it.
Man, it's funny because I told myself, I was like, oh, am I gonna cheat and look at it before? But I didn't look at it before, so goodness, man. Woo. Let's see. Okay, so it would be like, for example, like Orlando Strong,
Mhm.
Orlando Strong, and I might hit a little ready, go, red seven, set, go,
There we
bang, and
go.
then that was the strong. Yeah, yeah, the yeah.
There you go. No one's got it. No one
And
remembers.
then
I'm
and then
ready.
kaboom! We don't want to get too many spoilers, right?
No, exactly. I don't want to give away
Yeah.
anything, but no, that's good. Again, I didn't expect you to remember it, but that's
Actually, that
awesome.
was yeah, dude. That I did not. As I said, the first one, I was like, okay, there it comes, there it comes. So yeah, I didn't expect myself to remember that either. But
Now, no,
uh,
think about this. A typical football playbook has over 150 different plays in it. How many did we go over?
what was it, two?
Two. So,
One per day.
it gives you a little bit of an appreciation of
Yeah,
all of the
yeah, yeah.
mental preparation that it takes to become a football player, right? And that's kind of the opposite end of it. Like we look at you guys and it's like, man, you guys, you were tough, you were tenacious, you got right in there. But then, maybe gives you a little bit of an appreciation of, man, like these football players, they got a lot of stuff they got to remember in 10 seconds when they're walking from the huddle to the line, right? And they have to evaluate everything that's
Mhm.
going on. So, yeah, it's kind of, I was hoping that we could have gotten, Anthony and Jamie on as well, but obviously you guys are all kind of doing your own thing. You're all busy. Matthew, you just got back from traveling. Noah, you're auditioning for other roles right now too. So, but yeah, the thing that I really liked about it was that we had two of you guys on the offensive side, two of you guys on the defensive side, and you guys were beaking at each other back and forth, which was kind of, bringing it full circle, right? It makes it so that way it's realistic, even when we're not filming. So that was really, the nice part for me when I'm watching, because I'm just taking a step back and saying, I don't have to do anything. These guys are, they're on the ball, they're selling it. Like they're making it so that way this looks like it's, it's authentic, it's real. So that's good. So our other host, who's also named Kyle, he couldn't attend tonight, but he wanted me to ask you guys a question. Okay. So, and again, he's a bit of a jokester, but his question is on the scale from Danny DeVito to Daniel Day-Lewis, how would you rate Kirkwood's film debut?
I'll let Matt take this one to start.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a funny one because you got two legends, but of course, you're talking. Okay.
I don't think it's a literal question.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Daniel Day-Lewis, man. Daniel
Oh,
Day-Lewis.
look at
Yeah,
that.
ultimate respect. It was like poetry, man. It was amazing. Yeah, no, it
I,
was
I,
good. It was really good.
I was gonna say more like Dan Aykroyd, but it's um
That's a good one.
No,
but
I agree too. I think it's the authenticity that came through a lot of it. Even on our end too, like having
Yeah,
an actual coach, screaming plays before we shoot and like making sure all the guys are in line and lined up. It was good to have that presence for sure.
well,
So
and
yeah,
the neat thing, yeah, and the neat thing too is, Tim, who plays Coach Briggs, he actually has a coaching background as well. He was a high
yeah.
school football coach. So I mean,
oh
the
yeah,
fact
yeah,
the fact that I had him kind of as my, as my second fiddle there, that was a big help for me too. So shout out to Tim Progosh if you end up, listening to this down the road. But anyways, guys, before we let you go, so that way you can get rested up and enjoy your film premiere on Saturday night. Where can everybody find you, on social media, anything that you want to, talk about before we head out? Matthew, we'll start with you.
yeah. So for me on social media, on Instagram, it's Matty China. So MattyChina. You'll see all the work I do in modeling side, a bit of film and a bit of theater as well. And that's about it for where you can follow me. If not, see me on TV or see me in person.
and, and and you'll also see extensive travel pics because I know that you were on
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
long vacation there. So
yeah.
hopefully you enjoyed yourself with that. But Noah, how about yourself?
Sounds great.
Yeah, so for Instagram, it's just my name, Noah Demel. So that's NOAHDEMEL. Um, yeah, that's about it. I like Matt, you can see it on TV, you can see it on the screens, and yeah.
Well, for anybody who's looking to watch, it's Saturday night, March the 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Lifetime channel and the Lifetime app. But again, fellas, really appreciate you coming on to the 1867 Sports Show. And again, hopefully we can cross paths again down the road because really enjoyed working with the both of you. But all the best to you in your careers, and we'll be following you for sure.
For sure, man. Appreciate it, Kyle. Thanks.